Most struggling real estate agents don't need more leads. They need more honest conversations with people who are already around them. That's a harder truth because buying leads feels productive, or responding to emails, or going on social media without a plan, right? Learning another system feels productive. Posting content all day sometimes feels productive. At least I think it does, right? But if none of it creates a real conversation, guess what? It's not building your business. If I had to get real estate business as quickly as possible, there are 3 things I'd start doing today. I'm Tristan Almada. This is Your Daily Real Estate. It's a podcast and a show built to help you think more clearly, grow your business, and become a better real estate agent / human being. If that's what you're looking for, subscribe, because that's exactly what I do here almost every day. The first thing I'd do is to build what I call a closest to business list. Closest to business. So ABCD type of thing, right? Most struggling agents, they prospect backwards. They spend all of their time trying to convince strangers to trust them while ignoring the people who already do. So go through your phone, right? This right here, your CRM, your email, your Google has Google Contacts, social media, and even if you've been in business for a while, old transactions. Find 50 people who fall into one of 4 groups. People who've talked about moving but went quiet. It's okay if they've talked a while about moving, right? Those are fine. Old leads who had a real timeline at some point. And if you don't have the details in your CRM, it's okay. Just go off of memory. The point is to get this list together. Past clients whose lives may have changed. Again, if you don't have those details, just focus on the past client piece. And people in your world who already know, like, and trust you. Because I don't know if you believe the saying, but people like to work with people who they know, like, and trust. It's an actual real thing. If people like you, they gravitate to you and they use your services. Now, remember, this isn't a list of 50 people who need another automated email. So don't get that confused. It's a list of people, 50 people who need personal contact. So start with the 20 people who are most likely to have a real estate transaction or real estate decision somewhere in their near future. Just maybe a lease, maybe thinking about buying, maybe something happened that you know. People like that, right? And please don't send them a message that says, just checking in, just touching base. Please don't do that. Checking in doesn't give somebody a real reason to respond. Call the person who stopped looking 6 months ago and say something along the lines of, you crossed my mind today. Did the plan to move go away? Or did life just get busy? Question mark. And it could be a simple text too. Don't forget, most people will respond to texts over calls, right? So text the past client and text them and ask, how's the house been treating you? Has anything changed in your world that could affect where you live over the next year? Now, if you don't want to be as direct, because I'm not as direct, right? It could be as simple as, hey, Joanne, I've got a local legends directory of all of our vendors. I'm going to text it to you. We just updated it, right? But think about the question I asked the first time with that first text. Has anything changed in your world that could affect where you live over the next year? That question creates, I think, real conversation without making the person feel like they've suddenly become a lead, right? Your goal isn't to pressure someone into moving. It's to discover whether something has changed. Now, I don't want you to deliver this message to these people that is confusing to them. So don't go in and say, hey, I'm texting you because I saw on Facebook that your son is sick, making sure that everybody in the family is okay, right? Don't change that into that same text asking if they're going to move or if they need help or if something changed. Don't confuse those. Let them bring it up if they bring it up. If not, then message them later. The whole purpose of this is to get you business now. So don't approach it that way. Approach it just like I'm telling you and ask, are there things that are changing? Maybe there's a new job. Maybe someone's getting married or divorced. Maybe there's a new baby that you saw on social media and you're reaching out. Maybe a parent needs help. The point is, there are a lot of maybes here. Maybe the house has become too expensive, too small, too large, or simply doesn't fit the lifestyle anymore. So real estate decisions usually begin with a life change. Agents, that's you who's struggling right now, agents who stay connected hear about those changes first. They stay connected in multiple ways: social, in person, at events, online, text, phone call. But here's where a lot of agents lose this opportunity. They have a great conversation, say, let me know if you need anything, and then they hang up, right? Don't leave the next step floating in the air, please. Every conversation should end with one of these possible three outcomes. You schedule an appointment. That's probably the best one, right? You get permission to follow up on a specific date, or you get a clear answer that tells you there isn't an opportunity right now. The second thing I do is create a specific reason for someone to meet with you. Probably the thing you want to do as quickly as possible, because if you give them a reason, it'll stay in your head. You'll feel good about it and you'll drive to do that, right? Something along the lines of, let me know if you're thinking about buying or selling, isn't an offer. It's a question, and it's not even a specific question. It kind of makes me not think. It's like, no, I'm not thinking about it, right? It puts all the work on the consumer. You don't want to make it like that. People don't want another sales presentation. They want help making a decision. So for a potential seller, create a seller decision review. Show them three possible pricing strategies. Help them understand what they might walk away with, what they may need to do before selling, and whether moving now or waiting appears to make more sense. And for potential buyers, remember, these are the 40 or 50 or so that you're calling up, and you have this amazing list, and you discover, oh, they're a seller. Oh, they're a potential buyer. Well, create a buyer game plan. You can name it whatever you want, but the idea is to help them understand what their budget can be, or what their budget is, what the payment could look like with help from a lender maybe, and which steps would put them in the strongest position, even if it's 3, 6, 8 months from now, right? But then you can invite people to an actual conversation, right? Let me put this together for you. Let me get some details. Now you could say something like, hey, I'm putting together a few no pressure. You don't have to add the word no pressure, but if you want to, you can. But I'm putting together a few no pressure seller decision reviews this week. I'll show you what your home may sell for, what you might walk away with, and whether selling right now would even make sense. Would that be helpful if I prepared one for you? Now, don't send that text. This is more of a conversation, and they're just ideas. It's not word for word, okay? The idea would be, if you're texting it, say, hey, I'm just looking up home prices for our past clients right now and comparing them to Zillow to see how much their homes are actually worth. Do you want me to do that for you? Pretty easy. They'll say yes or no, right? But the point is, that's much stronger than asking if they want a free CMA. A homeowner doesn't wake up wanting a CMA. In fact, some don't even know or remember what that means. They wake up wondering whether they can afford their next move, if in fact they're thinking about it. So your offer should answer the question behind that question. And if you don't have enough people to contact yet, well, put yourself where real estate intent already exists. Host open houses for busy listing agents. Ask productive agents if they've got older inquiries that need personal follow-up, or reconnect with people who attended your previous open house. Work the leads your brokerage or team has already paid to generate, and they're just sitting there. I'm sure there are teams in your office or top agents that have these databases that haven't been filtered through, right? So you don't always need to create demand from nothing. Sometimes you just need to get closer to the demand that already exists. It just may not exist in your world right now. The third thing I'd probably do is run a 14-day appointment sprint, not a content sprint, not an organizing sprint. Hey, let me clean up my home. Let me clean up my system. Not a sit at your desk and pretend you're working sprint. That's the worst type of sprint you can do when you want business now. This is an appointment script. Every day, make 5 direct phone calls, leave 20 genuine social media comments or personal messages, publish one useful post, right? Publish one useful post to wherever you normally publish, send one personal note card, then meet with or schedule time with at least one person. Think about that. If you actually do that for the next few days, that would actually create business opportunities for you. We call that purposeful prospecting, because it's very purposeful and it's prospecting. The social activity matters because people often reveal what's happening in their lives or what they're going through online, like on social. That's where everybody goes. And they usually reveal it there because that's where their friends are. And they do that before they tell an agent or before they even find an agent. And the post gives people a reason to remember what you do, especially if it's purposeful, right? None of this generic crap that you're getting from AI. Calls and messages, they turn to visibility. Visibility to you, one-on-one, whether it's a text or a call. And those turn into real conversations. The meeting is probably the most important thing. If you can get people to meet up with you and have coffee and connect with them, that allows that trust to grow more. That's where if they don't have business for you, because you're not going to bring up business in it, right? You're just going to connect with them. That's where the referrals are going to come in. But you've got to measure the right things. Don't judge the day by how many tasks you completed. Track real conversations, appointments. That really is the key, right? The appointment scheduled and specific follow-up dates. If somebody tells you they may move in 3 months, that isn't a dead lead. That's a follow-up later lead that's important. If someone engages with 3 of your real estate posts, don't immediately pitch them. Start a conversation. The whole purpose of social media is to build these relationships long term. Now, you might say you've been watching a lot of this market information lately. Now, if they're messaging you on social, sometimes you want to balance it out, right? If they bring up social media, great. If not, most of the time, you're not going to DM them and say, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. Listen, real estate market's changing a lot. Do you want an update? That's like the worst direct spam I hear. If they message you, message them back and stay within the confines of that conversation that this person started with. But listen to this, because chances are really high. They're going to bring up real estate. You're going to ask how they're doing, how their business is. Then they're going to ask you, well, how's your business doing? How's everything going in real estate? They brought it up. Now you can talk about it. That feels human, right? And let's be honest about what getting business as quickly as possible actually means. It doesn't guarantee you'll close a transaction tomorrow. Real estate has timelines, right? But the good thing is you control part of the work that you do. The other part is you put your effort out there, and it may not always connect with people, but it does mean you're creating right now, hopefully, the shortest, most direct path to an actual conversation, an appointment, and then a committed client, right? You don't need another month of preparation. You got to go learn out there by actually doing this stuff. So before today ends, write down 50 names, choose one offer that solves a real problem for these people, then call the first 5 people. Test this out. Text them, right? Texting is probably the better way than calling. You can go text and then call. But when your business slows down, I think this is where you need to get even more focused, right? You need to go from content to conversations, from conversations to appointments, and from appointments to commitment. That's how you create momentum again. You need to get yourself out there focusing on the things that you know you should be doing. Just get clarity on it. And do me a favor, subscribe to this channel. It's Your Daily Real Estate. It's giving you more practical ways to grow your business, lead better, and stay valuable in a very, very changing industry. Have an awesome day.